What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here back with another video. And in this one, we're going to be talking about Devin White. Yeah, Buccaneers linebacker Devin White. Because for those of you who have not heard, which a lot of you guys have sounded off in my DMs and the comments about this already, so most of you probably have, but Tampa Bay Buccaneers linebacker Devin White has requested a trade from the team. And a lot of you are asking, is this a move the Patriots should make? A lot of you telling me the Patriots need to get on this. So I'm going to, in this video, break down for you my thoughts on Devin White. Is this a move the Patriots should make at linebacker, or is this somebody that they should move on from? There's no current report on the Patriots being interested or anything like that. I want to put that out as a disclaimer. But on this channel, I want to answer questions that Pats Nation also has. I want to answer your questions like, should they go after Budda Baker? Is that somebody that's realistic? Should they go after like somebody like a Devin White? Is that something that makes sense? So I'm going to answer all your questions and kind of break down if this is a logical move for the New England Patriots. But you guys know how we break down each and every single video. We got to roll that Patriots Global intro. So without further ado, let's roll it. Now, before we do hop into today's video, I said this before, but I want to let everybody know, for those who don't already know that I post on my community tab, just letting you guys know that when I go live, we're going to be trying something new. You guys know that if you want to get prioritized for your comment, donating is the best way to do it. I'm able to see your comment right away. It stands out, but also it gives back to me in the channel. YouTube is constantly taking more and more money from their creators, and the percentage of the money that we make is actually, at this point, they make more off of it than we do. And especially for live streams, they take like 60% of it. My last live stream, we had a donation of $20 and I only got $9 of that. Not only is that not fair to me, but that's not fair to you guys who are actually donating money to me and the channel to give back to the channel, to have more equipment, to do better for these videos. So from now on, we're going to be using a Venmo that will be pinned in the chat in all of my new live streams. Use that to donate so that you guys are 100% confident and sure that all the proceeds go back to me and the channel, and you still get your comment answered. So just want to let you guys know that real quick. But Devin White. Now, this is a guy, me personally, I am not going anywhere near. Now, currently, we don't know. Is Devin White asking for a trade for one of two reasons? One, is it because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers they're not successful anymore? Todd Bowles as a head coach is not good. You saw it with the Jets when he was their head coach. He's a good defensive-minded coach. We saw that in Super Bowl 21 when they won with Tom Brady in the first year. We saw that. But Todd Bowles as a head coach is not good. And I think that team is now pivoting on a downward spiral rather than an upwards trajectory since Tom Brady left. And I think a big part of that is Bruce Arians leaving and Todd Bowles taking over. And I think players are going to want to start jumping ship knowing that they're not going to win and there's not much of a future. But there also could be the factor of that Devin White is in contract year. So with that being said, maybe he wants a longer contract and he knows that they're not going to be on terms of that. So he says, just trade me now so I can go to another team where I can essentially be valued at what I'm worth. Now, I know why Patriots fans want this move. It's a bigger name, it's a splashy move, but also there's a low-key need at linebacker. I don't think it's as big as a lot of people think, though, because linebacker is a dying position in the NFL. And maybe that's a little bit of a hot take, but I really do believe it. When is the last time we heard of a dynamic linebacker? We don't. We don't hear about linebackers like we used to, especially in this system for the New England Patriots, especially for a head coach like Bill Belichick, who's a defensive-minded coach, for him to not utilize linebackers like he once did with Jamie Collins, Dante Hightower, Gerard Mayo, Teddy Bruschi, Mike Vrabel. I think that goes ahead and says something. When is the last time we truly utilized a linebacker or valued a linebacker or taken a linebacker high in the draft. The Patriots just don't do that anymore. Because at this point, linebackers are asked to either do something that your secondary is supposed to do, or you're asking them to do what your defensive line is supposed to do. And I think teams are realizing that, especially the Patriots, and they're saying, you know what? Well, I'm not going to go out and pay $10, $15 million to a linebacker when I can just put that into a stout defensive lineman at the first point of attack to play in the trenches, or I can put that into a safety to go ahead and come closer to the line of scrimmage, play in the box a little bit, play hybrid linebacker. And that's exactly what the Patriots do. That's what they do with their safeties. That's why they value safeties so much. That's why they pick them so high. That's why there's so many of them, is because the Patriots use their safeties as linebackers. That's why signing somebody like Jabril Peppers this offseason was such a pivotal move for the Patriots because of what he brings. No, he's not going to take over for Devin McCourty, but he's technically going to be a linebacker for you. And you look at the depth chart currently for the New England Patriots at linebacker. Obviously, your starting guys, Juwan Bentley and Jelani Tavai. Those are your starting guys. Patriots brought in Mack Wilson last year, hoping he could finish the rotation. He didn't do much. He didn't play a single defensive snap in the final 5 games, and the Patriots were still fine. They brought him back, though. He'll get in the rotation one way or another. Josh Uche, who is technically listed as a linebacker, does not play linebacker. He's strictly edge. Calvin Munson is a guy who won't even end up making the roster. Ronnie Perkins, they view as a defensive end. Terez Hall is another body. Chris Board is a guy, too, that I think maybe gets in the rotation a little bit, but he's someone who's more depth at this point. He's going to be more of a special teams guy, though. And Anthony Jennings, who they drafted in 2020, who they've barely utilized since he's been drafted, has been utilized as an edge defender more than he has as an actual linebacker. So, we're talking even here about drafting a linebacker high in the draft. And personally, I just don't see it because I don't think they value it anymore. I think they say, you know what? We have a great, stout defensive line in front 7. We have a secondary. We're going to continue to build with our safeties, maybe draft a couple, maybe sign another one in free agency. But you got guys like John Jones, Jalen Mills on top of all the other safeties that you have between Adrian Phillips, Kyle Duggar, Peppers. So I think they look at guys like a Chris Board, and I think they look at guys like Mack Wilson and say, well, those guys might not be great linebackers, but we have our 2 linebackers that are going to be primarily playing at the LB position, whether that's middle linebacker or outside. We'll have our safeties come and play closer to the line of scrimmage. And then if we have injuries or we just need a couple more linebackers on the field for certain packages or rotations, then we'll just bring in a guy like a Chris Board or a Mack Wilson, and it'll be perfectly fine there. The big reason that I just don't see the Patriots overall looking into a trade here for Devin White is that contract at the end of the day. If the Patriots trade for him, they have him signed under contract for 1 year. I'm sure a big demand here for Devin White also will be, if you do trade me, the team that does trade for me has to sign me to a contract extension. Patriots usually don't get themselves within those types of trades. He's in final year of his contract, though, and he's going to have a cap hit of $11.7 million. The Patriots aren't even paying Juwan Bentley that type of money. They're not going to pay Devin White that type of money, who actually has been a worse graded linebacker. And to put that into perspective, I have a few numbers here. Now, PFF numbers aren't everything, but they do tell a story. He was the 150th best ranked linebacker, according to PFF this past season. He ranked 33rd in pass rush, 160th against the run, and 125th in coverage. Those numbers do not scream $11 million. They do not scream contract extension, and they don't seem like he does not seem like the type of player that will come into the system and provide what the Patriots want. If the Patriots are going to draft a linebacker, I guarantee you it's going to be somewhere in the 4th to 5th round. and it's going to be as a depth piece and maybe a guy that takes over for a Juwan Bentley. They want somebody who can be a leader in the middle of the field, somebody who can play at middle linebacker, be able to come through, shoot the gaps, stop the run, and rush the passer a little bit in blitz packages, be able to apply some pressure on the QB. Other than that, they don't really care that much for coverage. And when's the last time they truly utilize their linebackers as edge rushers? Like I said, they value the defensive line a lot more and their secondary a lot more now than linebacker. This isn't the day and age where you have Jamie Collins, Kyle Van Noy, and Dante Hightower constantly playing the edge, because now you have guys like Matt Judon and Josh Uche playing the edge. So it really doesn't matter in the sense of Devin White being a pass rusher, because we don't blitz all that much, and he's not going to be an edge defender for you. Personally, I just don't see it. For a lower cost on the contract, I would be willing to do so, but they're probably going to be looking somewhere between a 3rd to 4th round pick for him. My guess is probably going to be around a 4th round pick. They might only end up getting a 5th overall for him, just because of how large that contract is, and it's in contract year, but it just doesn't scream like a Bill Belichick move for me personally, between the statistics he puts up, being in contract year, not being the Patriots type of linebacker. It's just not a move that I think makes a whole lot of sense for them. Get a guy in a 4-year rookie contract in like the 4th round. You're paying a whole lot less. I think has a lot more upside within your system. This past year, he put up 5.5 total sacks. I will say he's a tackle machine. That is one thing I do love about him, is that this man is always around the ball. Just doesn't make a whole lot of plays necessarily. 124 total tackles, though, to go along with 5.5 sacks. He has 3 forced fumbles. He's one of the best, I would say, linebackers in forcing fumbles. That is one of his upsides. 0 interceptions, though. 8 tackles for loss and 16 total quarterback hits. But that's kind of my thoughts here on Devin White. If we were talking about the other Tampa Bay Buccaneers linebacker, whose name is escaping me right now, it's going to bother me. But if we were talking about him, I'd be all over. I think that he's a much better fit for the Patriots. He's one of the best linebackers in the National Football League. But Devin White, me personally, I'm passing. Only 25 years old, so has a lot of time in the NFL still, but I just don't think it's going to be with a team like the Patriots. Doesn't make a lot of sense for how they kind of utilize their defense and kind of how they're pivoting from a schematic standpoint. So this is my thoughts on Devin White, though. What are your guys' thoughts on him, though? Would you make a trade for Devin White, and what would you give up? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video, and of course, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. I appreciate you guys for watching, and never forget, go Pats.